Great, thank you everyone. It's nice to have such a small, intimate group. Larry, do you want to explain your social life for your hair concept so everybody can understand where it all began?
Yeah, so I suppose what it used to be is I used to work in another salon, and often what would happen is I would do my clients and I'd be cutting their hair, and the next client would come in and it would all turn into sort of a big sort of chat, and everyone would be talking in between each other, and stylist next to me who works for me now, we used to, me and him would chat, and it would be like a big sort of everyone in together having a big discussions. And it kind of, I suppose from that, I was always quite social, talked a lot, and we had this idea that a social life for hair would create this kind of thing, and we thought it would be quite a nice story to sort of move with. We created a website and stuff like that, and that's where it all initially came from. And then we started to open a salon, and the whole idea was really basically is like, I suppose kind of like if you think about barbershops where a lot of guys would just all congregate, but we wanted to make it into a salon vibes. So like everyone would just turn up and feel welcome, and you could just be a part of it and just have fun and stuff like that. So we opened the salon coming up to 5 years ago, and it really has kind of took that ethos on. We have a lot of all walks of life, all sorts of people coming into the salon, and what's quite funny is everybody just sits and chats between each other. I was saying to someone the other day, I had this funny moment where I was cutting someone's hair who's like a big friend of mine, and as I was cutting his hair, he turns to the left and looks, and I looked, and there was this big guy walking through the salon. This was on a Saturday morning, and I looked back and I was like, "Is that?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was Kelsey Grammer," and he'd basically come with his wife because she was getting her colour done, and he sat in reception and just talked to all the clients for 2 hours, and it was like, it was a bit surreal moment. Why is Kelsey Grammer Fraser all the way from America sitting in the reception? And it's a case, it's like, we've had lots of people from Adele comes in, we've had a lot of people, and it's like everyone. Another one is like Deck come in, and Deck will sit there, and that's quite comical, because he's exactly what he is on the TV. So when you're talking and he's talking in the salon, you can tell people are all like, they'll engage with him, and he just chats away. And it's that ethos, and it's really grown. And then we opened, then we launched the products, and they kind of have a similar sort of feeling, like they can be sort of interused with each other and create different movement, different styles. You can layer them. They're kind of quite multifunctional products. And it was all we try to, which I'll show you in a minute, is create a bit of a talking point with them. And along with my wife, who's not a hairdresser, but she works for the brand. She's like she's the creative force behind it. I'm just a hairdresser. She really is. She sees stuff that we do as hairdressers that we take for granted and we don't really think about. And she'll like pick up on these little things, and then she turns them into like a hair product or a hack or something like this. And it's something that, like, for instance, like I said, us as hairdressers, we just don't really think about it at all. So that's where the products have all gone, and kind of thinking about it in slightly different ways to your normal hair products. And then we opened the second salon in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And then it closed for COVID, literally a month later.
Going on to COVID, so how much did we all miss our hair salons during that time? I mean, I think that was certainly evident for us, just, we were constantly updating our readers on when are hair salons reopening. And I think
spoke to you quite a few times.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And I think that really did show us all that, that connection with our hairdressers and that little bit of pampering and me time was sort of vital to our well-being. And so what's changed since then, Larry, when everyone's now back in the salon? And
I think during lockdown, it really proved that the beauty industry is key, and it got overlooked a lot. And as a lot of you guys know, Sonia, Annabel, all the guys that Stella, all really campaigned quite hard for the beauty industry during that period of time. And I think the government used to overlook us quite a lot, you know, and they'd worry about the bars and this and that. But the beauty world was, and it was overlooked, but during the whole year of COVID, I think it really got pushed to the forefront. So when people were coming out of COVID, they was literally wanting to get straight to the salon. They weren't worried about going to the pubs or to a restaurant. That could wait. It was like, I need just to see have some beauty treatments, to see my friends, you know, relax and, you know, have a bit of, you know, discussions and chat and, you know, reconnect. So I think COVID kind of coming out of COVID, that really was a big force within the beauty industry. And I think also you've seen a mixed bag. Some people have grown their hair out, you know, and they want to keep it long. Some people have gone for a home haircut and literally chopped it. I saw 2 home haircuts which were outstanding. And I was like, literally, like, come in. And I was like, I had this one girl and she had super thick hair, quite like your hair. It's like really thick. You'll see it in a minute. And this girl just came in and she just cut herself her own bob, chin length. And it was spot on. And it was like, amazing. And I just could not understand how she possibly could have done it. I was like, and she was like, oh, I just want you to cut my hair. And I was like, well, I honestly don't think I could do it any better than what you've done. I was like, what am I going to do here? And I literally said to her, it was like unbelievable. Yeah. So you had a real, do you know what I mean, mixed bag. But I think it was of different things, people coming in for big changes, people trimming it. And so
recently there seems to be a lot of haircuts again. So we've noticed recently, so Sienna Miller's cut her hair and
long hairs.
Billie Eilish and all of these celebrities are going for
quite big chops. Yeah, I think long hair is definitely, you know, it's come away from the long hair. Listen, everything goes in cycles. Do you know what I mean? So as much as it will go up at the moment, it will come back down again. Yeah. I think, you know, I think it's just, I think, I'm not sure really where you could put it at that. Some people would say it's taking control. It's being, you know, risky and a bit more, you know, I'm gonna go for a change, cut all my hair off. You've seen even girls that have got really short hair. You know, I work with Iris Lauren. She shaved all her hair off. Yeah. We often bleach her hair and cut her hair short. And she looks incredible, absolutely incredible. But I think it's just, I suppose it's just something that's moved. You're seeing it go shorter and shorter. Bobs are coming up even shorter. Yeah. You know, I think Anna de Armas has got a lovely little bob at the moment. I think her hair's really nice. Yeah,
and lots of fringes, we're seeing.
Yes, lots of fringes.
Yeah. Which makes me sort of almost want my fringe back, which we did a couple of years ago. Yeah.
I spent most of my lockdown doing my children's hair.
Yeah.
On videos.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we start showing everybody a little party?
Yeah, we're going to...
A dressy hair for the party season?
Yeah. Take a seat, Sandra. So basically, all I've done is I've just smoothed Sandra's hair out. It is super thick, and we've just... way up in the way there. But we've just smoothed it out, created some shine, and I've kind of done a little bit of a wave, but I'm going to show you a bit more. And I'm just doing sort of an S wave. That's for that. An S wave, and then I'm going to put it up quite simply. But I think that things that you can do, let's do that. So things you can do very easy. So this little wave here, you could, if you're doing this at home, you know, you can really pick out, you don't have to do the whole hair. Everyone sometimes thinks that you need to create, you know, you need to tong your hair or you need to straighten, you know, or if you're going to create a wave like I did, you have to do it all over. And I think the key is to actually not do it all over and to pick out areas. So, for instance, on Sandra's hair where it's very thick, I've actually straightened it a little bit underneath and I'm actually only going to create a wave through the top. Because I think if I create a wave all throughout and you tongue it all out, what can happen is sometimes it can come out even further and even bigger. So it's a kind of, and it's also, you might have sort of a different, on your hair, you might have more of a fringe or you might have some layers through the front. So it's about picking up certain areas and enhancing them, not thinking about going all over the hair and making it look too done. That's for me. So I'm literally going to just enhance these front bits. we're going to just pull it through, and we're going to bend. I'm just literally feeding the hair through. So this is the Dyson Crowd. So basically what it does is it holds the hair in place as you're doing it. And you can kind of see that there's like an S sort of wave through the front.
And they're straighteners, Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have these flexing plates that enable you to just hold the hair into position. And they kind of guide it so your hair doesn't spray out too much. And you can just kind of, just really gently, just kind of, you don't need to be too perfect with it. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to get them little bends. I'm literally going to just go through the top.
I mean, this looks like something you might be able to do in the office bathrooms before.
Exactly that. Before you go out, you can,
want
like,
a little bit of something.
Yeah, a little bit of something. I'm literally, as I said, I'm just going through the top, creating this wave.
It's a little bit harder to do yourself, I will say, but.
So you like clamping it in and out?
Yeah, I'm just tapping on it. By doing that, you're kind of holding the hair in position with the plates, but also creating that little S kink to the hair. So I've just got a lot of baby hair. So what we're going to do is, once I've done all of this and we put it up, I'll show you how to tame them. But it's kind of really enhancing that shine. Like, for instance, what you could do is you could straighten all the hair and you could just do just the bend just here. And then what you're doing, it looks like she's had it behind her ears. So it's almost like it creates a shape as if she's got a haircut, but she hasn't, it's just one length. But by doing that, you create that almost
some shape
layered shape.
Face.
Yeah. I think it's always, I think for me, I would go away from the kind of tonguing all in the same direction, you know, create something that's a bit more unstructured, because that's in a way it's going to look a lot more natural rather than a bit, you know, it's a lot more cooler, I would say.
Less glamorous.
Yeah, I mean, the glamour's nice. If you're going to do that, if you want to want like a big, you know, big Marcel wave, like a big, you know, all 50s wave, then you do have to tongue it all in the same direction and then brush it out afterwards. But if you kind of wanting something more beachy, then look to two curls in different ways and show it. And we're just working it through. She's got super shiny hair. We have blow dried it. I used just a little bit of my volumizing hair mist to start with, which just literally just
What is
nothing
your
too
secret
heavy.
to getting that sort of glossy shine? I'm thinking just also with Adele launching her album, she's sort of brought back that glossy blow dry, hasn't she, as well?
Yeah, I think it's just really, you know, taking your time when you blow dry and starting at the top, not as much underneath, because a lot of people see their hairdresser start at the back. I think, oh, I'm going to dive in at the back and start, and by the time you get halfway up, your arms want to fall off and the front's all a bit. So I would say start at the front, identify products that you're going to use, identify your hair type is the crucial one first, and then from there move. So you can kind of, you know, if your hair's quite, I would say, you know, frizzy and quite fluffy and it's got a curlier or coilier texture, then you're going to need something that's a bit more of an oil base to absorb into the hair to get a shine. Whereby if you've got finer hair, then you want something very light. I think the key is a lot of people will buy products. There's this kind of almost this thing where people will buy a product and they're a bit scared of products. It's like identifying a styling product, thinking about what they are, a styling product and a finishing product. That's the two things. So a styling product will be a cream that you'll blow dry with, or a volumizing hair mist, or a mousse. A finishing product is going to be more like a clay, a serum, a cream, a hairspray. So, but you do need the two to work together. You know, hairdressers all use products. So there is a reason why they work.
And recently I sort of discovered that I was been using a bit of a hair oil on wet hair, which I didn't realise I should have been doing.
Yeah, see, that's a finishing product.
Yeah.
You could use it. You can use a cream on wet hair and dry it, but an oil on wet hair would probably leave it too shiny and too greasy. Unless you've got really, like, if you've got sort of really coily hair, then you could use a bit of oil beforehand, just to absorb, because it's a lot more porous hair, so it would absorb the product in a lot more. So we've kind of just created a wave gently, which you can do so easily, but it's just a bit more softer. I haven't done, like I said, I didn't want to do it underneath loads because I wanted to create a nice shape where it doesn't come out too much and stuff like that. I'm not going to put any finishing products on yet because I just want to show you how to create that wave. Right, well now we'll turn you around in a second.
The shampoo's important.
Shampoos are important, yes. Well, for me, I think a lot of hairdressers are basically, we brought out some shampoos recently, and the story behind our shampoos is it's a wash cycle. And often people will go in to the salon and they'll think, oh, you know, they'll come out and they'll go, oh, my hair's amazing, it feels really good. And they'll buy one shampoo. But often the hairdressers will have used 2 shampoos during the time in the salon. And what can happen is one shampoo can be very, very heavy. So you might use it first and it's really soft and you think, oh, wow, this feels really luxurious. But within a couple of weeks, it's all of a sudden very heavy. You might got greasy roots and so on and so forth. So I think it's good to maybe have 2 shampoos and just vary them up so your hair's getting a bit of both. Do you know what I mean? So you're getting a bit of, you're giving it, it's like giving it 2 types of food. It's like you don't use the same thing on your skin constantly and you don't eat the same food. So don't just put the same thing on your hair all the time. The hair will need different things. It will get layered up and stuff like that. So in my vision, that's what I think.
And our hair texture can change throughout the month. I think you told me, Larry, so with hormones.
Yeah. Yes, we did talk about that. Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, exactly that. It can change through the month. You know, hormones play a part. I think, you know, all different things play a part. So that's why it's good to, it really is good to, sorry, I did have some bands on here and they've disappeared. Yeah, it's a good thing that they do, you do vary it up because, yeah, like I said, you don't eat the same food every day and you'll put a mask on your hair at one point, on your face, and you'll use, you know, a primer and stuff like that to get the best out of your skin. So it's another thing that you should be doing, really thinking about when you're doing your hair.
So are you putting the hair?
I'm just doing a really low pony at the back. This is just a very simple, quick thing. We're leaving these waves at the front, so we're going to work with them in a minute. If you twist around slightly. So it's very simple. I'm just going to do a very messy like knot. And it really is tying a knot in the hair. So you basically take 2 sections, twist it, pull it through like that, and then you twist it in like that.
Got that, Caroline.
Yeah. You go in with the grip pin, come in like this, and then you go back on yourself. I'm just going to go, oh, now. And again, you can just come in a bit more here, come up, right, in.
If your hair isn't textured enough to sort of get enough grip, you know, sometimes
so now
it can
you
be
kind
a
of
little bit slippery.
Yeah.
Would you spray?
You can use spray. Yeah. You can use mousse to, if you want to gut it up a bit. People say like, oh, it's better the next day. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. You can get products to get you to that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So that bit's already tied up. Then you've got these 2 bits. You can just literally just twist them underneath if you want to. It's being very casual when you're doing it. Don't really overthink it.
Yeah.
Like messy looks nice.
Yeah, messy's more.
Somebody gave me a tip once, which it works every single time. So whenever I put my hair up into a bun, I don't look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it always looks better when I just feel my way.
Or when you're at your desk or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that always looks better than
It always looks, when you put it up to go in the shower, it always looks better than when you actually look in the mirror and try to do it properly. Yeah. I love that though, because I think also, you know, it's not about manipulating your hair to be something it's not, is it? It's, you know, very much embracing your natural texture and working with your own quirks and your own hair type. And like you said, if you've got a few little baby hairs, and
Yeah, exactly that.
mine have never disappeared since I was a child. So
Well, we're going to get to them in a minute.
yeah.
But yeah, everyone has a little bit of baby hairs. Sorry. She's got super thick hair. All I'm doing is literally sliding some grips in here and pins. Just pin it into place, tying the knot in. And you're kind of leaving, I'm going to leave a lot of the ends out. So it's kind of like that unstructured, like you just said, soft finish.
The great thing about a messy bun, I think, as well, is that you can contrast that with a red lip and make your face really polished, and vice versa. So,
Sorry. It is super. I'll get off and look up at the screen up there and see what I'm doing.
yeah. Does anyone have any questions as we're going along?
Oh,
Anyone?
But it is actually quite therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of you must have a few questions.
About absolutely anything to do with hair.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we've got a question.
Turn
Oh,
around.
I've got a question
maybe.
about a wavy blow dry.
Yes.
I always like my wavy blow dry, but on day 3, once it's been done, and I don't like that like freshly waved big hairs. But then by day 3, you sort of feel like you need to wash it again anyway. So how do you get day 3 look on day 1?
I think you probably like the fluffiness and the softness of it, and you know you might get a bit of natural oils come into your hair and stuff like that. And it's that it's what I was going back to. I imagine it's the unstructured look of it. It's not all going in that perfect way.
Yeah.
So that's why I would think about maybe if you could, what are you using, tongs or?
A hairdresser usually, but a brush and a... I don't find that the tongs stay, so it's usually a brush and a blow dry.
Yeah, so I think, you know, if they're doing that, then just being a bit more casual with it, I suppose.
Sometimes a little bit of dry shampoo helps to give you day 3 hair on day 1. I find just takes the edge off the shine and the gloss of it, gives it a bit of texture.
What was that?
A little bit of dry shampoo sometimes.
Dry shampoo,
Or like a
texturizing sprays.
spray. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
texture.
is dry shampoo actually good for your hair? Like,
I actually don't know that answer. Sorry, I really don't.
I've ever used it. I do sometimes.
I don't imagine-
Am I making my hair really dry?
Nice.
I think it's just.
I can't imagine.
It
It's
can
like
be
a
any
powder,
worse than
isn't it?
any
It's just a
other hair
powder.
product, I would imagine. Yeah.
Just the powder to absorb oils. That's all. I don't think it's going to be anything damaging to your hair. I mean, other than maybe if it's the chemicals inside it, you know. Me and Sandra was having this conversation a minute ago when we was doing her hair. She was saying that her hairdresser always says to her to use more chemical products rather than more natural products. And I said that I disagree with that. I think it's more natural products that are going to give your hair better condition and keep the hair in.
What about when you go to sleep at night? Is there anything like, do you believe in like these silk pillowcases or?
Yeah, definitely. 100% on the silk pillowcases. I think they're really good.
I do.
Yeah.
I think a big thing during COVID as well, which Annabel is the expert on, she's written about it, is obviously people have hair loss because of COVID, because of stress. And is there anything you can do to sort of help your hair grow?
Yeah, I think, listen, that has definitely been a big part. I think hair loss has been a huge part during COVID. I've seen it quite a lot, even with people that are close to me. Yeah, that are close to me have had it. So I think, and I think also COVID's done other things like we're really championing, like, we're not championing, but we're really encourage people to all have skin tests because allergies have changed drastically during COVID. So you really got to think about, like, if you're going to have colour on your hair and stuff like that, go and have another skin test in your salon. Don't be like, if they asked you to do that, get in there and speak to them, because it really, you know what I mean, you really could have changed a lot of, it's really been a big thing within the hair industry that people are going into salons and they're having allergic reactions, and
That's
quite bad ones as well. So,
is that because their immunity is lower, do you think? Or?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's, you know, some people have said it could be to do with the vaccine, or it could be to do with just COVID itself.
Yeah.
But people are having like allergic reactions to colour, that they might have had a colour that used the same colour for years and years and years, and now all of a sudden they're allergic to it.
So interesting.
So we're nearly finished on this. It's just a messy little twist at the back. I've kept these front bits here soft. And now we're going to just show you, just to tidy it up. You can see all the little fluffiness.
Now this has been a bit of a cult product, hasn't it, Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This toothbrush, hence maybe hairbrush. Yeah.
So again, this is going back to what we were saying earlier. So my wife basically, I was using this on a show. I was doing some hair on a show, and I was using a little brush and this product. And at the time, we brought out a large version. The first product that we brought out, pardon me, was a large version of this Social Life for Your Hair cream. And we was doing a travel size. So then my wife was like, hang on a minute, this is good. So it's a flyaway kit. So flyaway, travel. It's good for your flyaways. And it's really, and the story is that we brought it out. The cream is very natural and it's not very greasy. So you can kind of just team it in, look, and you'll see it. Social Life for Your Hair cream.
So it's the original finishing cream in a mini.
Look,
in a mini one that is.
Can you see them all coming down?
With this brush.
Yeah.
The mini one does. Yeah.
So you can basically, but what's quite a funny story about it, when we brought it out, it was a filler. It was like between one set of products to the next one. It was just going to be a little storeroom. And we brought them out and we bought 100 brushes. We stamped them ourselves with the name, all got cramp in our hands. And we was like, you know, that'd be enough, 100. And we sold them like really quickly. So then we bought 300 and we stamped them all again. I was like, and then again they sold. And now it's literally like,
everyone's
cult product.
all over social media, everyone's using them to tame their little flyaways. And
so look, you can basically see just from the front of up there on the camera, you can literally run it through and it just tames all of those flyaways.
It looks really shiny as well.
And you can just use it to sort of tie everything into place a bit.
It's also really good for your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose.
And just, you can use it. What's nice is that you can literally, like, so many people from all different hair types use it. Literally, you can really, you know, you can sculpt the front, the little baby hairs, you can tidy it all up. You know, you want an element of softness through the back, but it just gives you a bit more definedness.
with the bits that you left out at the front, the two front pieces, Larry, so you left them out to...
Just create a bit of a shape through here. I think what you've got to... What you've got to do, rather than just tying it all in at one hit.
It's not super tight.
Yeah, it just gives it a bit of a different feeling to it. Do you know what I mean? So it's, I think, what's quite interesting is I always think about, some of my staff are like, oh, you reference stuff all the time. You know, this shape here puts it in a different period to if you was to just tie it all straight back. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to think about maybe what the clothes you're wearing. And that's when it comes to a show and stuff like that, is you have to think about the clothes and what someone might be wearing. And if you want to kind of be in an era, then it might be a middle parting with a shape through the front like this, puts it in a certain era to those clothes, but it's also a modern version of it, whereby if you lose the parting and you go slick back, it could be a bit more of a, more of a 90s feel.
Yes, a bit more Kate Moss 90s.
So it's kind of, I suppose it's just, I think it's quite nice, you know, we all look at clothes from all different eras and stuff like that and mix it up. So, yeah.
Love it.
And I think we're kind of there.
Great.
So, yeah.
We've only got a couple of minutes, so does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Go for it.
What about if you've got curly hair like mine? Would you think it would be best to put, straighten the front bit to get this sort of style? Because mine's crazy curl.
With curly hair, I'm a massive fan of curly hair. My wife's got really curly hair. I think that diffuse drying hair is key, is crucial. I think you've got very curly hair. It's about using the products. My best advice to diffuse drying your hair and getting the best curls out of your hair is to wash your hair when it's soaking wet. Don't towel dry it. Come out of the shower when it's really soaking wet. Apply a curl cream and maybe a mousse. So a curl cream and a mousse. Twist some pieces around your fingers and then start using the diffuser to diffuse your hair, right? Don't touch your hair at all while you're diffuse drying, right? So tip your head upside down, put Netflix on your phone, watch your little screen while it's on the floor, and don't touch it. Let the diffuser do all of the work. And if you put the Netflix on the phone, because a lot of people that when they're diffuse drying, they think because they're not doing anything, they think this is just taking ages. Do you know what I mean? This is taking ages, and they start touching it. And curly hair, when you're diffuse drying, it goes through like this 60% mark where people are like, oh, it's not looking very good. So they start to touch it. Don't. Just go with it. Trust me, just go with it. Because when you get to the 90% mark, you'll be like, oh my God, wow. It's like, this looks great. Yeah. So literally tip your head upside down, put your Netflix on, don't think about what you're doing. Just lift the diffuser into the hair. You will get unbelievable curls. And then when you've got unbelievable curls, what curls do is they give you a really unbelievable texture to be able to put your hair up. So you will be able to create this shape with curls. So you can pull these down here and then just grip them in. It's so easy to put curly hair up. It's so easy. It's almost like the quicker you throw it up with some grips, the better it looks. It really is. So yeah, it's all about, the key is about getting the diffuse dried and getting the curls in nice. The rest of it's very easy and simple.
Great, thank you.
Sorry, just on curls.
Yeah.
With the diffuser, what settings do you have it on? Do you have it on cold or like light heat?
I vary it. I vary it all the way through. So I'll start with it being sort of, when it's really soaking wet and dripping in, you've just put the product on, I'd probably use it at a bit more higher speed and a higher heat. And then I would reduce the speed down so that as you get into as you're going through it, you go from like, if you're using a Dyson, you're using like the higher speed, which is the 3 setting, then you go down to 2, then down to 1. And then at the end, get it to around about 90%, and then don't touch it, put your makeup on, do what you're going to do, before you get ready. And then by the time you've fully put your makeup on and you're ready to go out, your hair would have dried to 100%. Then you can touch curls. Once they've dried in, they're not going to go frizzy. They're only going to go frizzy in the period of drying them.
Yeah, I did it once and I touched it a lot and it just like,
Yeah. So it's definitely a case of if you do what I'm saying and you go through the process, by the time you come to the other end of it, you'll be able to touch it, shake it, do you know what I mean? Put your head upside down, scrunch into it, and it will all come in out to life. What I would say is if it is a bit stuck, once you have dried it all and you've put your makeup on and it's got in, tip your head upside down and just do massage. Massage the root of it. Don't run your hands through like combs. You don't want to be doing any of that. You want to it's all about scrunching the hair.
Great.
Cool.
Any tips about wavy hair which when gone white
Yeah.
are now very difficult to manage, and how to dry it so that it can be put up without looking all over the place?
Yeah, white hair tends to be a lot more sort of coarser. Trust me, I know. If under this hat is very white hair. I would say probably, you're gonna find white hair tends to be better 2 days after or 3 days after because your natural oils will come through. I think it is a case of just blow drying it out smoothly, using a brush, using maybe a little bit of a cream or a serum just to, you know, enhance the oils a bit so you get that shine, because it's the hardest thing with white hair is to get that shine. It can look quite dull. And if that's what you're saying, you want it to get that kind of wave, that shiny wave. It's just about using a bit of gentle product, not too much, blow drying it out. And yeah, and give it a couple of days. I tend to find that the day when I do my hair, and it is literally like, look, it's really white. All right, so yeah, the first day after, it's like, it's all fuzzy and curly, but I tend to use mousse on my hair to style it, and then I'll use a clay afterwards to finish it. And it gets into a nice shape.
What
and nice
brush
shine.
would you use, and if she's drying it? Do you use
a round brush, paddle brush, a Denman, but probably, paddle brush would be quite nice. Mason and Pearson. If you want to put it up, then you maybe pull it out with the Mason and Pearson so you're getting that nice shine to it, and then just put it up. Do you want to give one more question?
One more?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, how do you have any quick tips to give, like, volume and body in your hair?
Yeah, you can often, do you tong your hair at all? Rarely.
Straighten sometimes?
Yep, you can bend up underneath. So maybe underneath the top section, you can bend up the root a bit. That's going to lift it internally a bit more. I mean, and then you, obviously, once you've then smoothed the top over, you'll get a bit of volume. I think going against the way you're going to wear it could increase volume. So maybe like, if you want sort of a full shape that way, blow dry it that way first, and then flip it over, and you're going to get a lot more volume. I think using things like soft volume mousses are going to give you more guts and hold to the hair. So once you do get the volume in, it will really hold it. So yeah, multiple different ways.
Larry, can we turn centre around so we can see the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's just really soft, gentle.
Everyone can do that at home.
It's just twisting it and gripping it. But that's it.
Lovely.
Good.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks so much.